Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Now update. I'm John Bachman. The House of Representatives passed a two-year budget Thursday evening that many in Washington will hope end the budget crises that have plagued the Capitol for the past 3 years.
On this vote, the ayes are 332, the noes are 94.
It's considered a victory for House Speaker John Boehner, who battled Tea Party-aligned groups which urged Republicans to vote no. Boehner says those organizations have gone too far.
They pushed us into this fight to defund Obamacare and to shut down the government. One of these groups stood up and said, well, we never really thought it would work. Are you kidding me?
The bill now heads over to the Senate, where it is expected to pass. Democrats are upset the bill that does not include extended unemployment benefits for about 1 million Americans who are currently out of work. Democrats say they plan to bring that up when Congress reconvenes next year. Well, there's new information about an American who disappeared on a trip to Iran. The U.S. government has long claimed he was a private citizen on a business trip. But the Associated Press is now reporting that Robert Levinson, who vanished while he was in Iran in 2007, was part of the CIA at the time of his disappearance. CBS News senior correspondent John Miller is a former deputy director of national intelligence and personally knows Levinson and his family. He says the news could help bring Levinson home.
This has been something that the Iranians long suspected. And perhaps now that the AP has reported this and it's out there in the open, it may change the dynamics.
Meanwhile, a national security spokesperson says the government asked the AP to withhold the story for Levinson's safety. Last month, the White House said Levinson was a private citizen, but the AP investigation reveals he was working on an unapproved CIA mission when he flew to Kish Island, an Iranian resort in the Persian Gulf. The retired FBI agent has not been seen in person since, and the last images of him came out 3 years ago. The U.S. government still will not confirm or deny that Levinson was working for the CIA at the time. Well, here's a rare look inside the old U.S. embassy in Iran. It's been under control of the youth wing of Iran's Revolutionary Guard ever since hardliners swarmed the embassy in 1979 and took dozens of hostages more than 30 years ago. It now serves as a propaganda and anti-American museum, still popular with extreme hardliners of the Islamic Republic. And North Korea says it has executed Kim Jong-un's uncle. The government says Jang Song-thaek was trying to overthrow his nephew. Jang had been considered the country's second in command. He was arrested a few days ago, accused of corruption, womanizing, gambling, and taking drugs. Well, coming up next on your Newsmax Now update, while Speaker Boehner blasts conservative groups, a leader of one of those groups, Ralph Reed, joins us for an exclusive interview. Plus, it's going to be a white Christmas where Christmas first started. We'll take you to the Holy Land for a look at a rare snowstorm there. And welcome back. A rare heavy snowstorm blanketed the Jerusalem area and parts of the West Bank today. The weather all but closed the city, stranding hundreds of vehicles on impassable roads. At least 20 inches has fallen since Thursday. The snow didn't stop either, but it did not stop U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry. He still managed to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And during an exclusive interview, Ralph Reed, head of the conservative-based Faith and Freedom Coalition, says the Ryan Murray budget was the only possible outcome given the makeup of government, but he doesn't support it. Despite the passage of the bill last night in the GOP-controlled House, Reed says the bill could face a tough fight in the Senate.
I would probably vote no on this deal, and certainly I have a lot of good friends, from Marco Rubio to Rand Paul to Raul Labrador to even Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, who are already on record saying that they will vote against it.
And that's going to do it for this edition of your Newsmax Now update. I'm John Bachman. Now here's the Steve Malzberg Show.